Okay, so I believe we have just hit record. My name is Morgan and I am from SelfCare with Morgan, the Facebook page that really wants to focus on helping you to feel sexier, more resilient and more energized in some really interesting times we're going through. We have a very special guest, MJ Bond. Hey, how you
How are you?
going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, good. We had a few technical difficulties, but we got there in the end.
We did. That seems like 2020 is just all over the place.
Nothing is 100% as it seems, is it?
No, it's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. But we're here.
We are here, and I'm so glad to have you here. And thank you for being a very special guest on our first Self-Care with Morgan catch-up. Now, I wanted to obviously introduce everyone, and maybe actually, I will say I did prepare something a little bit earlier, so let me read it out. Now, especially here in Australia, we have a very, very unique culture that I want to celebrate. So especially for Aboriginal and Indigenous culture, I wanted to do an acknowledgement of country. Are you okay with me doing that, MJ?
Absolutely. Go.
Cool. So I wanted to say I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather here today, even though it is virtually, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. So even though we are virtual, I still wanted to start off by that. So thank you. MJ, tell us a little bit about who you are and more about what you do. So in terms of your life in there in Puerto Rico.
Ooh, who I am and what I do here. Okay, so, well, I'm Michelle Bonilla Julian. I live on Puerto Rico, and I'm MJ for short. And what I do here, transformational coach. And what that is I help you take the barricades that you have put in your life on the way. I deal with people that have been abused, relationship issues, people that just don't want to go on anymore. But that's changed this year. This year, it's been more of a spiritual transformation because everything's been online. And a lot of the cases that I do get are people that are at the end for life and they just don't want to go on anymore. So they literally call me where they have the rope around their neck and they're ready to go. And they are bugging out, and I take the time to ground them and connect them and say, hey, how you grounded? Hey, have you grounded? What are we doing? Let's go. And I actually walk them into the process of slowing down, taking it easy. And that for me is picking up a drum, going outside myself, and just doing with them and showing them, okay, we're going to get through. Let's grab this tree. Can you just put your hand on it? Are you on fire now? Are you okay? And I talk them down. And I get phone calls every day since the pandemic is started. It's just been overwhelming. I can say I can write a book and I'm like, wow, the people that I thought were a little bit more up there have fallen and they are coming for me to guide. I have people that they'll come to my door and say, I just need to be around you. And I'll be like, okay, well, let's ground. Let's take off your shoes, get in the grass, let's go. And that's what I basically do is I help them see that there is a light and there is a way. And I help them understand that they don't have to take their lives or they don't have to have sex with every Tom, Dick, and Mary or any of that to live and feel satisfied, that they can just slow down and just grip life right now, because all you got to do is grip it because it's so hard right now. It's really difficult.
It sounds like, sorry, keep going.
No, that's what I do here. In a nutshell, that's what I do right now.
And look, that would be such an interesting and somewhat challenging job to have. How do you keep yourself grounded in these very interesting times in which we live?
It's funny that you say, I keep myself it's moment by moment. I go outside, I go on the grass, I literally go out and hug trees, I run to the beach, I stick my feet in the water, the breeze, the birds talk to me. When I wake up in the morning, I listen to what they tell me, how the day's gonna go. And I listen, because it's really important. And I know these calls again, I know the calls come in before they come in. I say, okay, someone's calling. And you look down and you're like, okay. And I actually ground myself as I go. I'll have petrified wood really close by and I'll grab it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to carry it with me. And then as I start walking around and the person starts talking, one person was on suicide, like literally the rope was around their neck, and I went and started getting some black permaline, some kyanite, and just started pulling all the stones to help them balance themselves, and they can see, and I'm like, I'm with you, we're doing this together. And I always show them that we're doing this together just to help them balance. A lot of people have been really struggling just dealing with, you know, 2020. It's funny because Holden the other day had posted this beautiful message about how him hurting and how he, you know, he didn't understand, and it was a lot for him. And I understand what he's going through, because I see all these people that have all these accidents and they're all, oh, they're hurting so bad, and they're like, my life is over now, what do I do? And I'm like, well, I just got into a car accident. My spine is broken 3 places. The pain that I suffer daily is horrible, but I ground myself. And I said, you know what, we're gonna do this. We're gonna find a way, we're gonna get this way, because somebody needs your message. Somebody needs something that you have to offer. And if you don't do it, you're giving up on yourself. It keeps my fire going. So I'm grounding every time. I breathe in the pain, like every half an hour, I'll be like, okay, and I'll grab petrified wood, I'll light some sage, I'll light some copal, I'll go outside and sit out with the crickets. If you hear them, there's always, if it's not the frogs or the crickets, it's really important that I hold the tree down, because I have that connection with all these people that call me, and they're really in a lot of panic. So I want to make sure if I'm not grounded, I can't help them. So I make sure that I'm always extra grounded, even by the bracelets and stones I wear.
It's interesting you've mentioned that. Do you see, oh, let me see the other way. Do you see that?
Yes.
It's black obsidian. So I just, in my instinct, my gut today, I thought to myself, I probably need a little bit of obsidian in my life. So I'm 100% resonating with what you're saying. Now, I actually had something prepared. Now, give me 1 sec. Here we go. I thought it was a great chance. You actually mentioned something in the actual response you just gave. So I've got some white sage. I thought we could all have a little bit of a cleanse together.
And how great it is. How great is that?
So for anyone watching the replay, anyone here in live, especially you, MJ, this went out, so I'll do it again. Let's all enjoy some cleansing.
I'm like Athena. I am a sage addict. I'll be, as much as I smoke, I am lighting sage all over, because of the energy that we have right now. I think we have to keep extra grounded. Really important, because we've been bombarded, and people come to us because we have that energy. Being an empath, people always come to me. I'll stand online and people will turn around, yeah, I was on this line for an hour, and they'll just take off, and I'll just look at them with my mask on, and I'll be just shaking my head, looking at them like, I feel you, I understand. I had a call today, and I had a call from somebody today that I haven't talked to in 10 years, and my phone rang, and I looked sideways, and I'm like, oh my God. And I just picked up and I listened for 2 hours. I said 3 words. I said, I will sit with you. I see you and I love you. And that's all I said. And that person, and that's what I do basically. I feel like my job this year is to hold extra space for people and to hear them and let them talk, and just say, okay, let's ground together. Are you grounded? Let's go outside. You know, I'll even play drum. Our Tara is in the hospital. Tara Winters is in the hospital. And yesterday she wasn't feeling good. And I was like, I am good at 2 things, especially when someone's hurt. I'm good at jokes. I will make you laugh until you cry. All right. And I will sit with you. So I just took up my drum and I just started playing for her. I'm like, you know what? Let's just drum together, and, you know, let's feel the energy of the drum. I do what it takes. I'm that type of person.
And I think that's what has essentially brought us together quite early on. I think we just thought, wow, this priestessing thing is rather special. And it's one of the things I love about you the most Now, we've got two quick questions before we get back onto the original set of questions. Now,
Okay.
white sage, using it to cleanse, what's your process? How would you actually do it if we weren't there with you, or even if we were? How would you cleanse?
When I start at my door, my front door. I start every morning. I get up literally and walk to the door. My sage is by the door, and I burn it, and I follow the whole house, and I end up by the door again. I bless the door, I bless my phone, and then I start. When I do my card pull in the morning, I bless the cards. I go around again. I'm writing again. I bless my coffee. I bless the water in my coffee. I blow it in everything. Everywhere I go. It's important to me because it clears that energy and it just starts my day off with sage. My neighbors, they know when I'm awake.
For sure. And look, one of the things I will say, you've mentioned the importance of cleansing and understanding your energy versus someone else's, and then also being able to actually hold space for others. In terms of, I guess, what's happening on the planet at the moment, where do you feel that you sit in terms of trying to understand your energy versus other people's? You know, does cleansing using white sage do that? Where do you check in? How do you check in?
Well, for me, you know what, now the challenge for me is because I am in a lot of pain, but I feel though my body's in pain, my spiritual gifts have gone to another level. Like I'll know what they want before they know. So I already know what to go and I'll grab it. I will go talk to you and I'll already have, it was like, go get the selenite. And I'll come here and conversate with you, but I'm holding it in my hand because spirit already told me to get it. So it already tells me, okay, this is what you're going to have to handle. When I do Reiki in the morning, it tells me this is what you're going to have to bring in. Bring this crystal with you. Smudge this. Use this cup out. Okay, don't burn this. And then I'll burn it. And I'll just start burning the different herbs or a different crystal with me. They help me out a lot. They really do. So I believe. And a lot of people don't believe. I had a lady today tell me, but I don't believe. And that's the problem. When you believe what I say, you're going to believe in everything. You believe in the angels. You believe in God. You believe. Because if you don't believe, you believe in yourself. And that's what I get. A lot of people, they just don't believe in themselves right now. They're lost.
And I think that's a really important thing that we have to keep in mind. And I think it's one thing I'm so incredibly grateful, especially I think with the classes that Athena has been doing lately. She's been talking about believing and handing over your faith to, believing that the universe always has your back, and no matter what, you will always, you know, be handed just as much as you can handle, and you just have to believe that it's always got your back.
I honestly believe that, right? Like Holden, Holden said something the other day that once again, he went back on his pain, and my pain level has gone up so bad. And I thought about his post religiously lately, because it's like, Michelle, you're really it's getting bad for you. Is this you? Is this you? Is he mirroring you? And I really thought about it, because I'm like, you're in a lot of pain. I'm in a lot of pain. And I'm like, what do I do? Everything I wanted to do just went left. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to harness the pain. I'm going to use it, okay, as a lesson, because there's a lesson here, and I'm going to learn what it is. I'm going to learn to extra ground myself, and I'm going to still hold space for people. And instead of making that left turn the way I was supposed to, I'm going to go right. And I'm going to follow the right road, and I'm going to do what I have to do, but it's going to take me a little longer to do it. And it's because I have to heal myself. And when I heal myself first, I'll be able to heal others. And that's my goal this year, heal myself.
When I came up with this concept of self-care with Morgan on Facebook, it was actually a suggestion that I heard from Spirit or the angels. And it was that in this unique time that we're all going through, to remind people of the things that you do to feel more grounded no matter what happens. Like, we could easily go, wow, the technology wasn't working, but really we got through it. And, you know, things like burning white sage, or, you know, like I've seen you do and me do with the obsidian, we have little self-care tips and tricks that can help ground us. So thank you for coming on. Now, I actually think, and before I get back on track to the questions, tell me what a fire priestess is.
For me, I'm just all fire. For me, being a fire priestess is knowing who I am, is harnessing it for my good, and knowing when to step back when I'm explosive. And last year I was explosive and I knew it. All right. But I harnessed it. And then Athena, she just read one of my question posts and she just blew up. She said, hey, but if you do it like this instead of like that, and it was just like a revelation for me. And I harnessed the power. And now I'm like, you know, I don't take no bullshit. I will call you on your stuff at a given point, but pure love. I see it when I say something, feedback to me is a gift. So I will tell you what I see of you at the moment. It's not what I feel in my heart for you. It's not what your heart is. It's, hey, Morgan, I think you're acting like an ass right now. I think you're projecting and I think you need to step back. All right. Yeah. And people, and I've actually gone to a transformation program, a couple of them, and that's how they work it. It's what I see of you. It's how I am going to stand in front of you and what is my part. And it's the love that I'm always going to give to you. So I'm always very honest with people. And what I've learned now balanced it. So the fire priestess is, I know when to light my fire and I know when to simmer back and just smoke and not do.
Yeah.
So
no. I always I always love and I'm so proud of you for owning your fire priestessness. So yeah, thank you for being here. So we've talked about who you are and tell us about yourself. Let's talk about what self-care is to you.
Self-care for me right now is putting myself first and knowing that when I'm in a lot of pain that I can't, and it's okay to say no, and it's okay to lay down, and it's okay to not do anything else and just take care of me. My body's so important to me right now because if I don't heal it, the pain is going to overwhelm me. And then when the pain gets overwhelming, what do? You start getting depressed. You start thinking negative thoughts and your mind goes totally left and it shouldn't. So for me, I focus on me. I really take care of my health and I make sure everybody's good and I will take a deep breath. But if that phone rings and if Michelle's not in a good place, MJ steps back. I step back and say, can't take your call right now. Not mentally ready for anything. Once I'm good, I will get back to you. And that's what I do. I wait. And when I'm grounded, good. And if the day goes by and I'm not, I'm just not. I have to, I've learned that. Because I'll deplete myself and I'll give and then I'll get worse. Whereas they're better now. Do that. It's real important.
So it's almost self-precedence. I think I got the word. It's putting yourself first, making sure you understand that your cup has enough to actually fill what your needs are before you can actually give it to others.
I absolutely believe that because if you can't give, if I'm sick, if I'm really unhealthy, if I'm pissed off, I'm not going to read cards for you. I'm not going to pull a pendulum because my energy is going to bounce off that energy. I'm not going to be posting, oh my God, I hate life. And then come back and like, hi, I'm Michelle. How may I help you today? My energy's off. So I watch my energy very well. The way I present the way I come in the group, if I say so, I watch my energy and then I know when to back up. I know when my fire goes up and I'm like, oh, Michelle, you're going to say something? Nope. I already know to back up and be like, no, okay, I'll pass. Yeah. Not my monkey, not my circus. I don't do that. Yeah. I've learned in 2 years that when I was younger, let's go. Let's put on the Vaseline. Let's do this. I'm in there. I'd be the first one to be like, yo, who said what? Let's go. But not in Michelle now. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm going to step back. I'll be over here witnessing you guys. Just grounding myself, holding some petrified wood or some selenite. And really just, and I feel the difference. The old Michelle would have been in battle mode and all that energy would have been gone. And what would have we've gotten out of it? Nothing. It would have been 2 wrongs didn't make a right, and everybody would have been fighting. The new Michelle's like, I understand you, I see you, and you are so right. And I will look into that, and I will make sure that, you know what? I see you. And I do. People take me differently now. Now it's just like, who are you? Okay. And they don't know what to say sometimes. Here's this crystal. I walk around with petrified wood, little pieces, and when people are really stressed, I give it to them. And I start talking to them about how many years it was made, and what does it look like, and it helps them ground because it focuses when somebody's going to an anxiety attack and they start looking at it and look at the lines and each line means the years that it's been in the forest. it really helps people. And I feel happy helping. If I can bring them down, that they don't want to hurt themselves, I feel blessed that I did my part.
That's really powerful. And I I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm almost having a flashback to when I started counseling. They said that it's in the counseling session, they said, you seem to be looking after other people's needs. Why aren't you looking after your own? And I'm like, what do you mean? It was kind of like a real sort of come to Jesus moment. And then I said, what do you mean? And she said, it's almost like jumping on a plane. You can't go on a plane without having the hostesses tell you, if there's ever a case that your energy drops and you're not feeling good, you put on your own mask first before you actually then go and help everyone else. So I'm totally hearing that in what you're saying. It's a very powerful thing. Now, why is it so important to practice self-care? So I'm hearing that you're saying that it allows you to make sure your batteries are full, that you're feeling good, so that you can then eventually get back to helping other people. Is there anything else you want to add to that one?
Right. Well, you're balancing your mind, because when you get depressed, you get stuck in your mind, and then you get sicker. You start ingesting all the poison that you're thinking. So it's, oh my God, I can say, oh my God, Morgan, I've had 2 incidents where I've lost my vision, and I can say, oh, Morgan, I'm bugging out, I'm blind, I'm dead. No, Michelle, your back is injured, it's a nerve. You're going to hold tight. You're going to realize you need to step back and relax. And I look at it differently, because you focus on your attention on balance, opposed to overreacting. Oh my God, I'm sick, I'm going to die, this is going to happen, what I'm going to do. It's what Athena said the other day. Think about it once, opposed to reliving it every 2 seconds in your head. I got this. Do I got this? Do I got this? Do I got this? I don't do that. I'm like, okay, if this is meant to be, what do I look like if I'll be paralyzed? Well, Michelle, what do you look like if you'll be paralyzed? Well, Michelle, if you're going to go blind, what is it going to look like? Your grandmother was blind. Your great-grandmother went blind. What is it going to look like, Michelle? And then I just said, okay, well, I'm going to have a better connection with my angels and my guides, because I'll be just living off my third eye. So I kind of always try to balance myself in that, to stay positive. It just helps me, because if you're going to be in a lot of pain, I'm talking about myself. I'm always in a lot of pain. If I'm just going to lay around and be pity potty, just going to make myself worse, where I keep myself up. If I feel sad, and I do feel bad, I take some, my happy pill. What's my happy pill? It's not weed. My happy pill, ocean jasper. I'll pick up some ocean jasper. It like makes me instantly happy. And I'll just start walking around with the ocean, and my that sadness goes away. That's when I pick up some crystals, do this. I'm a firm believer. Have you grounded? Are you sad? Crystal. There's a friend out there waiting for you. There's something out there for you. Don't stay stuck. It's not necessary. There is help.
So the next question that I had, it's something I've added into the list quite last minute, so I hope you're ready for it. Tell me 3 words that describe how you feel after practicing self-care.
Hope, love, compassion.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I almost feel like practicing self-care. So for me, meditation is one. You've got probably reading oracle cards or tarot cards, and maybe having a really good night's sleep are 3. But I feel quite blissful. I feel quite grounded. I feel quite settled. What are some of the things you find that are the reasons why people say they can't practice self-care?
Because they're still stuck in their mind. They're stuck in, oh my God, they're projecting. They're not in the present moment. They would rather project. I have someone call me today. Okay, so she's having an issue. Now her issue is so bad. It's a relationship issue, and she was denied. So it's so bad that she's focusing on things that are going to happen in 5 days from now instead of staying present. And when she she disconnects from now, she loses everything. So my goal is to try to bring her present. Stay here, stay focused. What do we have now? What's around you right now? What are you doing now? If you have a cat, what is your cat doing right now? Stop projecting out, because 5 days is too far away. And that's what, if you project, you're in your mind. If you're in your heart, present, it keeps you balanced.
That's a really important thing, because I will say, I think from all of the self-care sessions and the mindfulness and meditation sessions I run, there's generally two arguments. They either say, I don't have enough time, or I don't have the money, because they sort of expect that self-care is a meditation, or, you know, I have to go and get my nails done. It's actually so much more than that. What are your favorite free tools for people who want to practice self-care that, you know, don't currently? What would you recommend free wise for self-care?
Before you said that, you know what? When in my transformation program, the two things that people always used to complain is, I don't have the time or the money. And we would always tell them, there's plenty of time, okay? We would show them time, and we would show them money's there. I'll show you how to make it. And we would actually challenge people and go out with them. I challenge you to make $100 in 2 hours. And they were like, you can't do it. If I do it, you do it. And I would go out and make $100 in 2 hours. And that's how I would encourage people to do it. So yeah, I believe that. And now everyone that's transformed or gone into the program, now they know that time and money are not issues. There's plenty of time, and the money's out there. You just got to know where to look and what to do to get it. Now, if I, what you need, one, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe. That's the one, the main tool. You are the tool. If you don't believe in yourself, you're always going to get tripped up on the muertos. We call them dead bodies here, is the, you know, bumps in the road. We call them muertos here. And we have a lot of muertos, and you're going to keep hitting a muerto every time you get stuck on something. So if you don't believe in yourself, how are you going to get to the next muerto? You're not. So that's my first tool. The second tool is grounding. I think it's the most important thing. If you don't ground yourself and say, when you're anxious and, oh my God, I'm having an anxiety attack, let me go outside and grab the grass. Let me hug a tree. Let me light some sage. Let me make a phone call to somebody that will help me. I think reaching out is really important as well.
So don't go through it alone.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I would say for me is crystals. I mean, for me, it's crystals, crystals, and crystals. It's just a tool that in any shape, I can grab one and I can give one, and they always make you feel, it gives you what you need.
Thank you. So we have got a few special guests here in the room, and I maybe wanted to open up if they do have any questions. So I'm just going to open it up. We have Danielle, Holden, Justine, Katie, Lex, Sharon, Sylvie, and Trenton. Did you want to take yourself off mute, or maybe put yourself on camera momentarily? And if you have got any questions, shout them out.
Holden, your the other day was really amazing. It really stuck with me. I keep mentioning you because I was like, that post was talking to me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So thank you so much, MJ, for coming on and being the first very special, very brave first guest on Self-Care with Morgan. Is there any little bits of advice you wanted to give people before we wrap up today?
No, just stay true to yourself and know that no matter what you're going through, and we're all going through some certain situations, that we're here for each other, and you can always reach out. And it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. And know how special you are, because you all are so special. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone coming along. MJ, you are a goddess, a fire priestess, a spiritual healer, and so much more. Thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts on self-care. And just know that there'll be plenty more to come, and stay tuned. This will be uploaded on Facebook for anyone who did miss it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, MJ, and everyone there in the room, and everyone watching the replay. Bye.
Oh my God.